Hi, everyone. It's Tara, Whitney. Great to be here. It's 3 o'clock on Wednesday, Eastern Standard Time, and you know what that means. It means that The Real and Raw go live on Facebook. I coach professional women to trust themselves around food so they never have to diet again. And I am here to talk about shining the light on messy, which is so relevant for me because I am right at on the other side of the messy experience, and I'm eager to share that with each of you and hope that you will learn from my experience and maybe something new will open up. So let's talk about kind of what I'm meaning by messy. So on Sunday morning, I sort of had the pinnacle of my breakdown. And when I say breakdown, I just mean that there was upset and tears and frustration and a lot of emotion. And let me just say that everybody's fine. Family's fine. My health is fine. There was nothing overly there was nothing catastrophic. It was just me not being happy with where I am, and that's okay. And this had really been mounting for probably days and possibly a week or so, and then it just came to a place where I realized that something needed to change. So anyway, so things got really messy, which means like letting a lot of stuff out and a lot of tears and all that sort of stuff. And on the other side of that, I realized that it's not easy to shine a light on the messy. It's not easy to embrace being in that place, being uncomfortable and being sad or being angry or frustrated or whatever it is. And here's why. Boy, and speaking of messy, my dog is barking his little head off. So here's why we often don't shine the light on messy, because we think, well, how about if I just ignore that this is happening and I just keep going? Or how about if I just pretend I'm okay and ignore what's here? Or you may think, if I ignore this enough, then it will just go away. So there's a lot of coping mechanisms that we might have when things get uncomfortable for us on the inside. And it can even include wanting to show the world that we are okay and that we have our shit together and that everything's fine. Because if we let people know that we have a lot of emotion, or if maybe we haven't gotten it all figured out, then maybe we're scared of the world feeling or people judging us and thinking that that maybe they won't hold us in a certain esteem or think highly of us. So there's a lot of reasons why shining the light on messy is not an easy thing to do. But let me tell you why it's important to do it. Think about all the reasons why we wouldn't want to acknowledge how we feel, and think about that in terms of us creating a dam for ourselves, right? So here's this emotion coming. I'm going to kind of move my hands up so that you can see. There you go. So here's all this emotion that's coming in. And it could be anger, frustration, sadness, disappointment. No matter what it is, all of that is present in our body and in our thinking. And when we're unwilling to share it or show it or acknowledge it, that one too, what we're doing is we're damming it up. So here's all this energy, because that's what emotion and thoughts are. They're energy, and they're going up against a dam, and the dam is sort of pushing back. And so all this is really mounting. And when you're holding yourself back like that, really what it means, what it takes is a huge amount of energy. It takes effort. it takes effort to keep that down, to keep it in, to keep it held back. And a lot of that holds in the body, holds in our bodies. So that's one of the reasons why shining a light on sort of our messy feelings is an important thing to do, because it takes a lot of work to not to do that. The other reason why we want to shine a light on the messy is because not doing that is denying ourselves a piece of ourselves. So what I'm saying is, you know, we have an experience, we have an emotion, we have a feeling, and by not letting it out or sharing it or showing it or kind of letting anyone in on it, then really what we're doing is we're denying ourselves a part of ourselves. And that, frankly, is painful. Whether we can feel that tangibly or not, as it accumulates, it can be very painful. And then the third thing is, think about how, this is my view, right? This is just my view. I believe we're all on this beautiful, messy path, and we're really taking this journey back to ourselves. So we got away, and now we're going back. And what that true self is really this like beautiful essence. But to get to the essence of our true self, there's joy and there's pain. There's anger, there's sadness, there's elation, there's inspiration. There's all of these feelings and experiences that are not all pretty, but in its totality make up our true essence, the process of getting to the true essence. So really, when we can shine a light on the messy, we're really shining a light almost like along the path back to our true self. And that's really why making room for this, for us, for what our experiences are, for our breakdowns, for our feelings, our thoughts, whatever they are, is so vitally important, because this is why we're here. You know, we're here to walk along this path, whatever that means. And our journey is like letting ourselves do that and not holding ourselves back. So not shining a light on the messy not only feels heavy, but it's hard, and it's just not, it's not consistent with our true purpose and why we're here on this earth, is my personal view. So where do you start? Like, what do you do? And let me just, and I'll share with you kind of how it all worked for me. So probably about a week or so back, I started feeling this like mounting frustration a little bit. And it wasn't hugely overwhelming, but it was starting to bubble, and I could just get a sense of it. And I started writing. So step one, as you look to shine the light on your messy, is really letting stuff out. So I have a journal. I have a morning journal, an evening journal, and I would just start writing. And some of it was didn't make a lot of sense. Some of it was like all sitting up in my head, but I just started to let it out. And so that's key, that you do, you embrace the written word, and you try to get some stuff down on paper, because it's valid, right? And you're starting, if you think of the dam, like what you're doing is you're starting to let stuff flow by writing it out. And then the second thing I did is, in the middle of kind of the upset, I reached out. And that was huge. Like I talked to my husband, I talked to my business coaches. And even afterwards, I was able to talk to Pam and Christine that you know in this group. And we talk every week on Mondays at 8 a.m. And really talking with them and sort of debriefing, and sharing what was going on for me was huge. So if you're in the middle of something, or something's mounting, or you kind of know there's messy there, I would encourage you, to the extent that you can, confide in someone to trust, or try to, start to reach out to those that you do trust, and just start to share yourself. And asking, I knew I could talk to Pam and Christine because they're awesome coaches, and they knew what I needed, right? And they weren't going to sit there and judge or criticize. Like, they just were there to listen and provide the encouragement and do the, yeah, I get it, Tara, I've been there too, and you're okay. So talking to someone that can not necessarily feel sad for you, but kind of have that empathetic response and still give you the encouragement of you're okay would be ideal in the person that you would speak with. And then, like, really the last thing is thinking about your mindset around all of this. Like, from the start, knowing that if we hold ourselves in, we hold ourselves back. So if we hold it all in, we're holding ourselves back from moving forward. And just look at your life and consider, how often are you creating a facade for yourself where you give the appearance that everything's okay, and really it's not. And by all means, I'm not suggesting that you walk around with a big sign on your forehead that says, yeah, my life is sort of falling apart right now. Like, I'm not suggesting that. But what if you were to be willing to let go of holding it all together? What if you were willing to let it all fall apart? And I'm not saying that you would fall apart, but the facade of I've got it all together and everything's fine. Like, it's not fine that my dog's barking at the back door right now. It's not fine. It's very frustrating. But I'm just going to leave him there for the moment and hope that he stops. So it's really a change in that mindset of just being willing to shine a light on the messy. So 3 things, everyone, as you look at shining a light on this messy, is writing it out, getting it out, connecting with someone you can trust, and then changing your mindset and being willing to let go of how you think you need to be holding things in. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being part of the Real and Raw community. I so appreciate you. I know when Pam and Christine and I each appreciate you and you being a part of this. Feel free to comment and share because we're here every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we love sharing all of this important stuff with each and every one of you. Take care, everybody, and have a great afternoon.